Pisces, hi. So this is going to be a reading for February 1st through the 7th, and I'll take a look into your recent past, your current energies, and your immediate future. And then I'll close it off with a couple of cards from the universe for you. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there is an extended at the end of the video. You can check it out in the description box below if you want. Now let's see, Pisces. Nice. The overall energy for the reading, the Hierophant, could be a marriage you're dealing with or a highly spiritual commitment you have to somebody here. Or something that, you know, brings you into that place where you're learning a lot, spiritually speaking. In the recent past, you get the Six of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, the Judgment card. You're deciding to not give to a situation anymore. There's a sense of you kind of pulling away from a certain dynamic where I don't even know if things were in that place of equal give and take, but you were giving to it, whatever this was. And there's a decision here that came with a lot of change, a lot of enlightenment on your part, basically. In the current situation, you get the Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Wands, the Moon. You're kind of in this place of thinking, okay, things have changed. Things have changed for the better. There is something a little bit delusional about this whole situation, because it's kind of coming in as someone that's telling me, my life has changed, everything has changed. And there's this situation here that shows up, which is telling me that you're still kind of stuck in the place that you were. You know, your energy is still kind of stuck in the same place that you were, and you're kind of showing up in a place of trying to convince either the people around you or even yourself that no, things have changed. Of course, this could be somebody kind of waiting for you here and pulling this card of change of, no, I'm not waiting for anything. I've changed. My life moved on. Everything's changed. Because there's a lot of emphasis on somebody putting up that face of, you know, I've gone past something and I'm heading in a very new direction. And what I'm seeing here is that they haven't. In the immediate future, you get the Five of Wands, the King of Wands, the Four of Wands. Interesting. Again, commitment card shows up. A little bit of conflict, a little bit of heated conflict here. You know, a little bit of that whole very passionate kind of situation happening here. And from that, poof, things kind of explode. Possibly in a commitment, within a commitment here. Let's see. Let's clarify. Let me clarify the Hierophant. The Hermit, the Queen of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles. All right. You're not willing to let this commitment go. You're not willing to let the situation go. I feel like when you're in tune with yourself here, you're like, well, I'm never going to let this go. There might be a little bit of a sense of you hanging on to the situation a bit too tightly. Which usually signals to me that there's a fear in there of losing it. You know, we don't hang on desperately to things that we trust that they are for us, for our benefit, for our highest good, basically. Unless there's a fear attached to that, fear of loss there. we'll see as we progress, but for now I'm seeing a little bit of hanging on to it pretty tight, to this whole dynamic, to this whole marriage or relationship, whatever it is. Let me see the Six of Pentacles in the recent past. The Three of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Fool. Interesting. So this was a dynamic where it feels like you gave a lot too. Kind of waiting for, not consciously waiting for the other person to respond, to give back. You know, it's not like you went there and gave them a rose and expected another rose in return or something. That's just an example, right? I don't feel like it was played out in that way of, here, I'll give you this candy, give me another candy back. No. But there is definitely a situation where you gave and you gave and you gave and you kept on giving until possibly at some point you were like, I ran out. Not much to give anymore here, you know? So I feel like at that point you started to really stop giving in this situation. Let me clarify the Judgment card. King of Wands, Page of Cups, the Star. King of Wands, the same King of Wands that shows up here in your immediate future. It almost feels like you were kind of expecting or waiting here for this person to open up to you, whoever this person was. You know, you were... there's a lot of expectation here on your side for them to open up, which doesn't mean that they weren't opening up. Maybe they were, maybe they don't know how, but maybe they were in their own way, you know. And a lot of people don't really see that, don't allow the other person to open up in whichever way they want and whichever way they know, because we're like, well, no, they have to tell me that they love me, otherwise they're not opening up. According to who? To us. That doesn't mean that they're not opening up. They're just not doing it according to us. And that's expectation right there. So I see a lot of that happening there at some point. Let me clarify the Wheel of Fortune in the current situation. The Emperor, the Knight of Pentacles, the Magician. See, this is the energy where it kind of flips into let them open up in whichever way they want, because I do see them coming towards you. Their energy is coming towards you, does want this with you. Again, maybe not in the way you wanted it to. But right now, there's a sense of you creating the space for them to open up in whichever way they want. Which tells me that you, again, with the Judgment card being here in the past, upon this energy, this tells me that you kind of worked with this energy of expectations here. And now they're showing up. Again, not in the lovey-dovey way, but they are showing up. Their energy is coming towards you. Let's do the Two of Wands. For the current situation. The Four of Swords, the Strength card, the Ace of Pentacles. It's like you backed off, energetically speaking, not being on their case. Like, you got to show me this, you got to show me that, you got to do this, you got to do that. No more. There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of waiting, you know, creating that space for them, and a lot of healing on your part. And somehow, some knowing deep within you that things are going to pick up. Things are going to be okay. You know, something's going to happen here. But it's all happening because you released expectations, possibly control there. Things have to be in this way. No, they don't. Things are just the way they are. Either accept them or cause yourself harm. You know, let me clarify the Moon. That's you right here. See? Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups, Queen of Cups. You're full of love. Your heart is open. Your intentions towards this are the best that they can be. There's a whole lot of love here and a whole lot of passion. it's like somehow within you, your higher self, your whatever you want to call it, knows that this is it, you know. But I feel like what you did here compared to the past is you allowed for this to happen. You accepted that it's going to happen in whatever way it wants to happen. In the past, I see you a little bit like, no, it has to happen my way. And that doesn't really work, does it? Let me see the Five of Wands in the immediate future. Four of Wands, Four of Cups, Three of Cups. All right. Yeah, a little bit of the same kind of energy being brought to the table of commitment, coming together or coming back together, not really happening in that particular way that I would want to here. It's gonna piss me off a little bit here with the Four of Cups. So somebody's kind of falling back into that whole expectation dynamic there, and that might create conflict here. It's interesting because I see it, you know, we all find ourselves in this place and we don't even realize it, that we want things in a certain way. And then when we release all of it and when we accept that things are happening in another way, in whichever way, things start to flow in a very beautiful way here. And then when it gets back closer to us, this love, this person, this situation, we kind of have the tendency to fall back into the old pattern here. And I see a little bit of that happening here. Which, you know, you can observe it, you can be aware of it, and then you'll kind of know how to work around it. Because I see you in both places of not knowing that you're even doing it and of being fully aware and creating space for things to happen in the way that they need to. For the King of Wands, you get the Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Cups, the King of Pentacles. See this. For some reason, this person is, well, they need to work on their part. That you can't change. You can't do anything about that. And you can't force, by the way. You know, you got to let them come to their own conclusion when they're ready to. This person kind of goes into the past, sees where things went not so great, and is kind of living the present through the past. So I see them kind of shifting from a very passionate person, very expressive, possibly in their own way, into somebody very practical, somebody that we need to take this life seriously, we need to work, we need to have this, we need to have that, which is not necessarily a bad thing unless they're forgetting that aspect of who they truly are. You know, if they forget it completely. Yeah, sometimes you do have to come back to reality, but they're doing it based on some sort of trauma from the past, which hopefully is not going to shut them down. Let me clarify the Four of Wands in the immediate future. Eight of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands again. Too much conflict surrounding this commitment. Either the two of you are not really on the same page. You may be looking at long-term commitment in one way. They may be looking at it in a different way. And that's where you bump heads. Too much overthinking, too much fear that it's not going to happen on possibly both your sides. Because if you want it to happen in this way and they want it to happen in that way, conflict. Let's see what the universe has. The Eight of Pentacles, the Devil, the Sun card. And there's a little bit of a toxic energy at stake here that's preventing the two of you to reach this happiness. And what I see happening a lot of this over here in the immediate future is, again, around you two committing to each other. So let's say you want them to ask you to marry them, or you're supposed to ask them to marry, whatever the case. There's kind of expectations on both parts. There's you wanting to move to Florida, there's them wanting to move to California. So, you know, so there's a lot of that creates a little bit of toxicity in this dynamic, and you're building upon this toxicity instead of just coming together and figuring this shit out. Because if you're building upon that, it's not going to lead you into this place, into this very happy place here. And I see a lot of conflict surrounding these aspects of, you know, instead of listening to one another and understanding where the other one is coming from, you kind of attack each other, you know. So yeah, that's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time.